everybody to stand up. And you already am up, you know. Babata woy, what to be, what to be law. And you can feel it draw you see. Babai, Ọlọ́run kẹwàá, àwọn ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire tí wọ́n pèsè bàbá ìfún wa láti ọ̀run wá. Inú mi dùn gbogbo èso ara wọn náà mo rí wọn. Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè á jẹ́ kẹ́ pẹ́. You will all sing this song very well for me. You will shout, Ààrẹ Afẹ́. You will dance and you will clap. So the song goes again. Which one should we start with? To clap, to dance, or to shout? Which one? All together. Students, are you there? We should do 3 in 1. Okay, let's start with clapping. Wait for me now, wait for me now. If you love this great icon, say Ààrẹ Afẹ́. If you love this great icon, say Ààrẹ Afẹ́. If you love this great icon and you really want to show it, if you love this great icon, say Ààrẹ Afẹ́. If you love this great icon, clap your hands. If you love this great icon, clap your hands. If you love this great icon and you really want to show it, if you love this great icon, clap your hands. You Tibo, clap your hands. If you love this great icon, stand up to dance. And Shambi, shake to the left, shake to the right. Oh yeah, you can come with music. If you love this great icon, stand up to dance. If you love this great icon and you really want to show, if you love this great icon, stand up to dance. If you love this great icon, shout Ààrẹ Afẹ́. If you love this great icon, shout Ààrẹ Afẹ́. If you love this great icon and you really want to show it, if you love this great icon, shout Ààrẹ Afẹ́. God bless you, God bless you, and God bless all the works of God. Your Excellency, the Governor of Ekiti State, our father, Ààrẹ Afẹ́ Babalola, the royal fathers that are here present, distinguished guests. Please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. I have the instruction of the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kayode Ariwola, to represent him here. It is part of his instruction that I deliver his address. However, I would rather drop his address with the organizers of this program. It is a 10-page address. In order to save time, I will not read it. Instead, I will read his goodwill message on page 26 of our pamphlet. I read, please. My dear learned Sikh, it is my honor to write this congratulatory message on the occasion of your 60th anniversary of call to the English bar. I was delighted when I heard the news of the commemoration of 60 years anniversary of your call to the bar. Indeed, this is a rare milestone worthy of celebration, especially as the years have been dedicated to the active practice of law, promotion of the rule of law, and the cause of justice. I have no doubt that in the past 60 years you have consistently registered yourself as an epitome of excellence, brilliance, leadership, maturity, administrative prowess, and honesty at the bar. This is even more glaring as you continue to replicate these no main virtues among all outstanding within and outside the bar. Needless to say that your contribution to the development of law and administration of justice in Nigeria and beyond is promos interference non-secondant. Gives me immense joy and serve as a cause of gratitude to God that as a Nigerian, you continue to impact the law and society positively in many lofty respects. This rare privilege is bestowed on very few, and I'm very proud to celebrate with you and identify with all that you represent, while wishing the Ààrẹ Bamufu.
Thank you for joining us again on the News Hour on Biscon Television. I'm Stella Opara. First, the headlines. On the national scene, Kaduna Governor signs Security Trust Fund Bill into law. Stop competing with cars. FRSC warns Gombe bicycle riders. In business news, federal government plans sanctions for non-performing discos. On the foreign scene, we won't release Bazoum. Rejoin ECOWAS, Niger co-leader says. And in the world of sports, President Tinubu confers national honor of MON on Super Eagles players. Now the news in full. Kaduna State Governor Senator Obasani on Tuesday signed the Kaduna State Security Trust Fund Bill 2024 into law. The new law is expected to help tackle the rising wave of insecurity in the state. The bill repealed the State Security Trust Fund Law No. 22 of 2018, according to a statement released by the Governor's Chief Press Secretary, Alhaji Mohammed Shehu. The Governor said the signing into law of the bill was a clear demonstration of his administration's resolve towards degrading terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, and other criminal elements who have been terrorizing some communities in the state. According to the Governor, the Security Trust Fund will enable the state government to support local and federal security agencies with equipment and logistics. Additionally, security personnel will be trained and retrained to respond effectively to current and emerging security threats. The Governor also appealed to corporate organizations and public-spirited individuals to donate generously to the fund. Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has advised bicycle riders in Gombe State to avoid competing with cars on the roads to prevent possible crashes that could result in fatalities. The Gombe FRSC Sector Commander, Mr. Felix Timan, stated in Lafiyawo, Akol local government area of Gombe State. Timan said bicycles were part of the traffic system and that their users had the same rights as any road users, but stated that riders must not engage in whatever could create conflicts on the roads. According to him, competing with cars and other vehicles on the road can create conflicts that may result in a crash and cause fatalities. He said it had been observed that some riders sometimes competed with cars, which he said was of great concern, hence the need to caution riders, especially children. Timan said his personnel had been engaged in schools in Gombe metropolis to sensitize students on the safe use of bicycles. The sector commander also cautioned bicycle users to avoid using the left lane while riding to ensure their safety. Away from that, a geometric power generating plant in Aba, Abia State, is set to be commissioned on February 24, 2024 to boost power generation and businesses in Aba. The Commissioner for Information and Culture, Prince OK Kanu, who disclosed this at Government House Umuahia, stated that President Bola Tinubu is expected to commission the power project. Prince Kanu, who noted that the state government has worked behind the scenes to ensure the plant comes fully on stream, explained that commissioning the geometric power plant will be a dream come true for both the geometrics company and residents of the state. According to him, when the plant comes on stream, it will benefit the people as a lot of things will change in our business environment. The commissioner further revealed that His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti, as the former managing director and CEO of defunct Diamond Bank PLC, was involved with the geometric power project right from its inception. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll bring you business news. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Biscon TV News. Now to business news. Power distribution companies that are performing below stipulated standards in the Nigeria electricity supply industry are going to lose 50% of their operating expenditures, the federal government declared on Monday. It made the declaration through the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission at the first NESI stakeholders meeting of 2024 in Lagos, stressing that the individual performances of the DISCOs shall be examined on a case-by-case basis going forward. Officially, Nigeria has 11 power distribution companies that supply electricity to over 12 million registered power users across the country. But the sector has been plagued by a series of concerns, top among which is the issue of poor liquidity and complaints around the inability of DISCOs to make adequate financial remittances to the industry to guarantee power production. But in a series of posts on the power sector regulator's official X handle, it was stated that the Vice Chairman, NERC, Musiliu Useni, urged DISCOs to improve their performance or suffer for lack of it. NERC, as the regulator of the power sector, has the power to approve the operating expenditures of DISCOs and other key operators in the industry, and it has been doing this over the years. It further noted that the sector must be run sustainably in terms of payment obligations by various operators. You're watching Biscon TV News. Coming up next is foreign news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now to foreign news. The leader of the military junta in Niger Republic, General Abdurrahmane Tchani, has pledged that none of the 3 Sahel countries will seek readmission to the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. He also affirmed that the junta will never release the deposed President Mohamed Bazoum, who was taken hostage following the July 26, 2023 coup in the country. On January 27, 2024, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger announced their plans to withdraw from membership in the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, despite repeated efforts at reconciliation. Following their withdrawal, the foreign ministers of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger recommended the creation of a confederation as part of the long-term goal of uniting the West African neighbors within a federation. General Tichani reiterated his commitment to this stance during an interview he gave to newsmen in the capital city of Niamey. Speaking further, he stated that the country is not worried about the consequences that may arise in terms of security, trade, and socio-economic activities following their withdrawal from ECOWAS. You're still watching Biscon TV News. Coming up next is sports news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now to the world of sports. The Super Eagles have arrived in the Federal Capital Territory following the second-place finish at the just concluded African Cup of Nations final in Côte d'Ivoire. The team was led by the Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, and the NFF President, Ibrahim Musa Gusau. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu hosted the Nigeria's national football team, Super Eagles, at the council chambers of the State House. And the reception party, President Tinubu conferred the national honor of Member of the Order of the Niger, MON, on every member of the Super Eagles that participated at the just concluded AFCON. This meeting on Tuesday follows closely on the heels of their recent match against host nation Côte d'Ivoire in the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations finals, where they fell short in the bid to win the trophy. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll bring you entertainment news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now to entertainment news. The wife of Nigerian singer Portable, Omobewaji Ewatomi Oluwafermi, has reacted to allegations of domestic violence against her husband. In the late hours of yesterday, some photos of Bewaji were shared by a controversial blogger, Just Lover, where it was seen how Bewaji has been beaten to a pulp. Aside from the photos of her battered body, some screenshots were also shared online where Bewaji was accusing Portable of beating her up. However, a few hours after the screenshots and photos of her battered body went viral, Bewaji took to Instagram Live to question the source of information about Portable beating her up. She denied being beaten by Portable and also stated that people want to ruin her husband's career and reputation. She challenged Just Lover to post a video where she was being beaten as alleged, and also emphasized that she owes no one explanation. And that's the news for now on Biscon Television, compiled and produced by Olakweju Ajidagba. Now, the last line. The key to success is to focus our mind on things we desire, not things we fear. I'm Stella Opara. Thank you for staying with us.
Register yourself as an epitome of excellence, brilliance, leadership, maturity, administrative prowess, and honesty at the bar. This is even more glaring as you continue to replicate these no main virtues among all assembled within and outside the bar. Needless to say that your contribution to the development of law and administration of justice in Nigeria and beyond his primus interference non secundant. Gives me immense joy and serve as a cause of gratitude to God that as a nonenarian, you continue to impact the law and society positively in many lofty respects. This rare privilege is bestowed on very few, and I'm very proud to celebrate with you and identify with all that you represent, while wishing the Ààrẹ Bamofin the very best in the tireless pursuit of the cherished virtues. It is my prayer that God Almighty continue to grant you longer life, sound health, the requisite wisdom, counsel, understanding, and skills required to continue to leave footprints on the sands of time. It is my heartfelt prayer that your enviable legacies will continue to will outlive you. Once again, Ààrẹ, please accept my felicitation. Yours faithfully, Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwola, GCON. Thank you.
Celebrant of today, Papa Ààrẹ Afe Babalola. I also salute my boss, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former president of this great country. I am happy for the opportunity to stand before you this afternoon to thank you, sir. When I say sir here, I mean the former president, for the opportunity he gave me to serve under him as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now that came about because I am one of the professional offsprings of Ààrẹ Afe Babalola. It was Ààrẹ Afe Babalola who nominated me to His Excellency, the former president. It wasn't because I was in politics. I was not in politics. But they are great friends. And when there was a vacancy in his cabinet, he called on his friend Ààrẹ to give him the name of a lawyer who can work with him. That was the way it happened. And I became a minister without being in politics. I'm happy to see you here today, sir. And I'm happy again that I'm able to thank you publicly for the opportunity, sir. Now, I want to congratulate especially our father, Ààrẹ Afe Babalola. When it came, because I didn't start live as a lawyer, I rather was working with the University of Ibadan before I went to read law. So when it came for me now to do my chamber attachment, that was when I found my way into the chambers of Are. And you have had a lot said here today. He is a philanthropist. I am a great beneficiary, you see, of that nature of his. Now, when I was on attachment to the chambers from the law school, he gave us an assignment, and I tried my best in that assignment. There were 5 of us posted to the chambers at that time. And when he saw what I wrote, he now called me to his office and said, "Young man, who are you?" I said, "Sir, I am Akiolu Jimmy." He said, "Yes, I know your name. But who really are you?" I didn't really know what to say. Because if he knew my name and I was there in the chambers to do attachment, so what else do I have to say to show who I was? But then I said, "I am in the law school." He said, "Yes. I know you are there, and that's why you are here. But I read through your preparation of the case I gave you. Now, what you wrote for me, certainly if you claim to be 15 years at the bar, I will not argue with you. So where did you learn all that you put in your write-up?" And I said to him, "I have been reading." He said, "Reading?" I said, "Yes, sir. That I did not just limit myself to what we have been taught in the law school, that I was doing extra reading, extra study." He said, "Yes. I think you will be a material for this profession. Will you like to work with me? When you finish your law school," I didn't go there to look for a job. I was posted there for law school, chamber attachment, and now an offer of job was coming to me just like that. I picked it up. I said, "Yes, sir." He now said, "What car would you like to buy?" Look at me. From law school to the chambers to learn, this offer of a job, offer of a car. Didn't know how to respond to it. He said, "Yes, yes, young man, tell me, tell me." Okay. I said, "Sir, I would like to buy a 504. At that time, there's nothing like Tokumbo. Brand new 504. He gave me the money to go and buy, even though I was in the law school. Gave me the money to go and buy a car. Then he said, "How much is your fee in the law school?" I said, "Sir, I have paid it." He said, "Yes. I know you have paid, but I want to refund it to you." I told him, and he refunded it. Then he said to me, "Anytime you come to Ibadan from the law school, any weekend you come, please come to the chambers." And of course, I was doing that. And each time I went there, he would always have money to give to me. Now, that's a clear demonstration, you see, of his nature as a philanthropist. Now, that nature of his, up till tomorrow, is still there. Recently, one of my colleagues in the chambers, we went to greet him. When we were doing a matter here, we left the court and said, "Let's go and see Papa." And we came. Now, as we were leaving, he dipped his hand into a bus behind him and took out money. When he offered me money and my partner, we were reluctant. Then he said, very rich Ekiti. He said, Okine koja bakun. I didn't understand what I meant. He said, yes, you don't understand. I know you are doing well, you are making money, but you cannot be richer than add this to what you have. That is what Papa represents. A philanthropist of note. Now, in the chambers, I know they were beckoning to me to finish quickly, but I need to say one or two things here. Now, in the chambers, we were many in the chambers, and today we thank God. Several SANs have passed through his hand. Many are judges at the High Court level, Court of Appeal level, Supreme Court level. But one thing about him is that he works hard and he likes you to also work hard. One of the quotes here that they paraded a while ago, there is one that I keep remembering every day, and that is, he prays most who works hardest. That's his philosophy of life. And we have all imbibed it. And that is helping us today. Now look at behind me here. We are just a few of those who are lucky, you see, to pass through the chambers. Many are still there. Those of us who are out are benefiting today by the great name he has made and the learning we all got under him. One thing that we all here will testify to is Papa's power of cross-examination. If you have ever watched Papa in court during a trial, you will love law. Whatever edifice of lies you have built up, Papa will crush it. Papa will crush it. And I have not seen any other lawyer in this country, past and present, who has been blessed with that power of cross-examination. Now, this university is a young one, about 13 years, I think. But see the level it has attained today. Number one in Africa and globally. That is part of the evidence of hard work. We have very many universities older than this one in this country today, but that distinction this university has attained has no doubt shown that hard work pays, and when you work hard, there is a lot that you can gain. So it's a lesson to all of us, the students who are here and our juniors who are still in chambers. You have to work hard. You have to work hard. It pays to work hard. Hard work doesn't kill. It only helps you, to succeed in life. So I want to thank again, Papa, what you have done for us. We love you. We continue to love you. We respect you. You are a great icon that makes us proud each time we think of you. My colleagues who cannot be here today sent their goodwill. They said that because of some urgent assignments, they could not be here. But they said, since I will be here, I should let you know that they couldn't be here because of these other national assignments. I'm so grateful to you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yield the microphone to our moderator, or perhaps, sir. All right, so the stage is set. Let's hear now Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka speak to the subject matter, the need for constitutional reform for Nigeria. Please, a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Let me skip through the protocols, and for obvious reasons, I'm sure you understand why it's useful for me to stand on existing protocols. Unlike President Obasanjo, I have great advantage over him, and I'm also happy that he was called before me. He did say to you that he will get to heaven before me, and I'm really mightily happy about that, because he has to die before me to get to heaven. So I'm not in a hurry at all. Sir, please, I'm not in a hurry. Unlike President Obasanjo, I am not afraid of lawyers. I have earned my medals with the lawyers because I have spoken at least 3 different occasions over the last 20 or so years. I've addressed the national meeting of the Nigerian Bar Association. I've also served under 3 Supreme Court justices, Justice Okuta, Justice Uwais, and Justice Nikki Toby. So I think I have more than earned my medals in law. I was struck to see Femi Falana, of all people, having to really genuflect to greet President Olusegun Obasanjo. I'm not sure that is something he did with all his heart and all his mind. My job has been made very easy. My job has been made very easy because I think many of you must be pretty tired. And so what I'm going to do, I had prepared a paper. Unfortunately, the organizers didn't tell me that we were going to have a panel designed like this. So I'll have to skip through the first part of my paper, which attempts to look at the whole idea of the future of constitutionalism, but as a process within Nigeria and also constitutionalism around many parts of Africa. So I will skip through that in part because I think that Nigeria's history is pretty convoluted as far as constitutionalism is concerned. It's not a subject I'm an expert in, but at least I think we can pay attention to the fact that even the nature of our history as a colonial state, as a post-colonial state, also as a nation that was also fractured by a series of military interventions. And as you know, every time the military came to power, the first casualty was rule of law, first casualty was constitution, therefore the first casualty was the National Assembly. So, and every time we almost ended up like Sisyphus, because every time a military regime comes and we attempt a new order, for those of you who may not be familiar, Sisyphus was said to have angered the Greek gods. And for his punishment, he was asked to roll a stone up the hill. But also in punishment, every time he rolled the stone close to the top of the hill, the gods will trip and the stone will go back and Sisyphus will have to go to the bottom of the hill to start all over again. I've used that metaphor in referring to Nigeria's struggle, not only with constitutionalism, but also with the struggle for democracy. So both of them go hand in hand, so to say. So, as I said, I'm not going to go through most of that, but it's important to understand the nature of the political landscape of Nigeria. I've often said, rather jokingly, but I think it's important for our records, that we are perhaps one country that cannot speak about how many presidents we have had. We don't use generic terms. If we say, how many presidents have we had in Nigeria? We can say President Obasanjo came twice. one as head of state, one as president. Buhari came 2 times, one as head of state, one as president. Then we have head of internal government. Then we've had all kinds of. So Nigeria's constitutional history is so fractured. We've had series of constitutions, beginning with the initiative of the British colonialists, right through to the processes that all of us are very familiar with. In my little experience, and thanks to President Obasanjo, who appointed me as Secretary of the Political Reform Conference, I've had a little bit of closeness in looking at the issues and the debate. One of the most frustrating things for me in looking at the history of Nigeria's constitutionalism, Burke, Mills, and even Karl Marx himself. And the result of all this is that you have in the American Constitution a document, although it has been subjected to amendments, but you can see very clearly that there was a historical and ideological background to the framing of the American Constitution. In our own situation in Nigeria, part of our problem in my little experience has been the process of even electing those who are going to talk about writing the new constitution. Now, the Political Reform Conference that I served in, we had 400 members. Compare it to the number of those who had to write the American Constitution. And for me, one of the very interesting things, people like Thomas Madison and some of the framers of the Constitution, it's amazing to see the depth of knowledge and the effort that people made to acquire so much knowledge preparatory to writing the Constitution. Thomas Jefferson, for example, was said to have, he was living in France, when the issue of writing the Constitution came about. And his friend Madison requested that he should please help him find enough material that they will study. And his friend sent him 195 books just to prepare for this very important assignment. I make the point because if you compare it with the Nigerian situation, where coming to participate in making of the Constitution is always at the discretion of the person who is the president. And he uses other sources of information. But I found that the struggle to represent traditional rulers, to represent the church, to represent all kinds of aggregate groups, ends up with a lot of people with very little understanding of what constitution making is. And what became very clear to me that most of the people who showed up saw the place as a theater for politicking and political transaction. So you can run through the Nigerian situation, but long story short, it is that first of all, there are no perfect constitutions anywhere in the world. And that in the final analysis, a constitution may be like the finest car that you can have, or the finest aeroplane. It depends on whose hands it is in. I stumbled on a poem, very beautiful poem, which said that a racket is a racket, just for playing tennis. But it's not an ordinary thing for playing tennis if it is in the hands of Djokovic, or if it is in the hands of Serena Williams or Venus Williams. A football is an ordinary football, but in the feet of Messi, it's a completely different tool altogether. So the point is that a constitution ought to be able to meet certain objectives and ideals. But in the final analysis, it is not so much the quality of the constitution, it is the quality of the men and women who have to operate the constitution. So I would like to, as I said, maybe run through to the end of my paper, where I raise quite a few things, because that's where I discuss what I call, what is the future of constitutionalism in Nigeria? I need to do that so that, the members can have an opportunity to discuss the things that need to be discussed. The first is that let's not be exuberant about how far we have traveled on the path of democracy, in part because there were a lot of ideological contestations around the world, especially after 1989 with the collapse of the Berlin Wall, where many African scholars were talking about the new liberation of Africa, because they discovered that colonialism hadn't worked, but that successive military rules and one-man dictatorships across the continent had destroyed the foundations of our freedom, had elevated ethnicity, and created ample room and opportunity for all kinds of non-state actors to embarrass and subdue democracy. So the point to make is that the very fact that we're barely a few months since the departure of the last military general, means that we must be modest in our talking about the depth of our democracy and how far we have traveled. The second point is to look at the state of Nigeria itself. Do we resemble a democracy? Do we work like a democracy? Do we talk like a democracy? Because the very fact that up till now, months after our elections and after swearing in a president, we still don't know who is going to be the president of Nigeria until the Supreme Court is over. Very much akin to the introduction of the video assistant referee in football, in which case we are like a man who has scored a goal, but we have to wait for the referee to go to VAR and confirm whether it was a goal or not a goal. It's not evident. It is a symptom of how modest our claim should be, because we very often confuse